There you go.
It's recording. Go.
Right. Do you want me to put the script on there just for reference, or should we just go straight off of what we're doing with it?
Yeah, we could do the script for reference just so people can see what is being generated, how it's being generated.
Yep. So what you're seeing on the, so for people watching, what you're seeing on the screen is the Atlantis Algo system, and the bottom is referencing the direction that it was picking for your trend time frame. What it's showing is literally the direction of the overall trend on that time frame according to many key factors. How we recommend using this as Atlantis Algo is that, one, you could, in theory, with correct management, use it as the idea of a signal, using your own stop loss and take profit. The other option is that you can use it for a bias when it comes to scalping. The idea being is it calls a signal as you get your alert saying, in this case, I'll put a line there referencing where it started. As it called the alert saying bearish direction detect open, you would have then been able to, off your hourly, 15-minute or 5-minute charts, look to catch entries onto that 5-minute, 15-minute or hourly trend with the same direction as what Atlantis has given you. So it allows you to really drive the potential of your own trades up by eliminating key ideas that are not necessarily incorrect, but just not as perfect as they could be. For instance, say you were looking at taking buys that day because you thought, hey, we're near some sort of support, you would have been able to have had the alert and go, I definitely need to be looking at bearish moves, because you know that it's told you that a bearish move is more likely. From that, you could have then been picking bearish moves and been able to potentially ride a lot further, as well as also being able to manage risk tighter and being generally in the right direction as well, because you knew that the support was going to be broken.
Nice.
Is there anything else you want me to cover?
Let's talk about some of the live trades that could have already manifested based off of what has been seen. We call Delta, well, the algo called Delta today, bullish direction. We also had the USD MXN just printed a close, bearish close. So just an example of what some of that may look like based off what we currently have.
So the reason that Delta Airlines was considered a close is, one, you can see that it's physically pulled back, and the reason for that is that the idea will be that it will close it with the idea that as price comes to a better level and it then starts to form support, it will then trigger a new entry so that we can catch more optimal rides. So that's why it's literally said get out here, even though structurally there's a lot further that it could have gone before you're even an overall support. So there's your idea for why it picked Delta Airlines as a close, just simply because it could be doing better, just to get in at a lower price and thus reduce your average price of entry. For the USD MXN bearish close, you've seen that over the last sort of week or so, you've had the potential for sort of in that range. We've now broken out of the range it was trading in, and it's also closed on the grounds of, one, it's formed a sort of support with potential that from here it could be seeing a move further up to then come back down later as it is still in an overall daily bearish trend, or it might even start then calling bullish signals as it starts to form support and resistance on its way up. And that would be why USD MXN on the daily direction has been closed.
Nice.
And then the last trade that it's called in any direction that's currently open is NZD USD. NZD USD has been in a consistent upwards rally since sort of midway through last year, as you can see. and you'll notice that it's just recently had, it's a 4-hour signal actually, my apologies. On the 4-hourly, it noticed that, hey, it pulled back and now it's gone bullish and it's starting to push up and further. So you should notice that it starts doing the following, and find that this will loop back. And that would be the entire intention behind why the algo is calling it still bullish. Should it come down slightly further, almost towards where this support is, you'll probably find that the algo will say enough's occurred.
Nice. Now, say someone didn't have, which they don't have access to the actual script that calls the algo. From a naked chart perspective, what type of technical analysis would you recommend our subscribers have, or a basic understanding? Maybe like market structure, fib, supply and demand, anything particular?
So as a clean chart trader, you could be looking at things like overall market structure to see if you're coming from a support or if you look like you're breaking through a support on a time frame. The other things that you could be looking for would be to see if any wedging patterns had formed. So, for instance, I mean, there is actually one here. It's not clean and it's not precise, but the idea is that you could have a wedge forming, but on a lower time frame, you might find a correct wedge that is breaking out in your direction, or you might find that you've pulled back, formed a support, and is pushing away from it. So there's some clean chart ideas. Other ideas you might have, if you're someone who wants to scalp on the trend you were given. So if I quickly go back to that 4-hourly, and I'll mark up the first candle that it called. If you were on like the 5 minute, you would have been able to, and I'll pick a free indicator here. So if I just pick like a stochastic, and I'm just going to put a rough setting on it from memory, just like 533, with the idea that you could look just to grab entries where it's like, hey, so in this case, it was oversold. So you could have caught buy entry, and with correct mismanagement, you could let that one ride, even if it was just until it hit overbought, which would have been perfectly fine, and then waited for another pullback and just consistently snapped little pieces of the market each time it hit oversold in your uptrend. And that would have been an idea for if you're someone who wanted to use the signals as a bias for scalping.
Very nice. I just got an idea, maybe some people listening might as well, where when it does call a stock, daily stock call, it could be a great, oh, sorry, 1 second, a great filter for options trading.
Yep. As I've got it current, so with the stock set up at the moment, because of how the nature of investing on stocks, I've currently got it set to giving buy calls only, just so that people can use it for almost straightforward investing as opposed to margin trading. But I can always add the sell alerts in as well. But my idea is that I was going to put like a list of, say, 50 stocks where it's just going buy this, close, and just giving buys constantly just for safer portfolio management.
Very nice. And that's pretty much 1.0 of the Atlantis Algo tutorial. If more questions or new developments develop, we'll be doing more of these, but that was a pretty much overview and understanding of what it would look like and the actual script that is calling these alerts. If you have any questions, feel free to direct message us. And shout out to everyone that's currently in the group receiving the calls. Just got to be patient and continue to wait for the setups, because when they appear, they're going to really appear and they're going to trend hard.
Yeah, well, as you can see, most trends, even this is 5 minute for reference, but most trends are still pretty strong. And on the 4-hour and daily, especially, where you're starting to catch larger movement.
Yep.
So for instance, this one, which would have been called in time, it was an easy 120 pips, with the potential for more if you'd potentially call it off the daily, as you were then calling down here, and you would probably have caught nearer 200. Yeah, I've been able to have actually taken 200 from that.
Yeah, my personal preference is to trade the algo off the daily. It's just less maintenance and more short direction. But
Again, this one you'd have been able to catch like 500 and still be in. I think that's everything, isn't it?
I believe so. So thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll be in touch. Enjoy Atlantis.